Welcome to Hamster NBC. I'm Pears the Hamster. This is Kids Ask Why, the show where curious kids ask big questions, and the answers surprise not only kids, but parents too. Today's question is a special one, so listen closely and stay curious. And before we begin, remember to watch till the very end, because a long-awaited bedtime story is waiting for you. A calm story, a cozy story, made especially for a quiet, peaceful night. Do ants have ears? How do ants hear? Have you ever watched ants walking in a long line on the ground? They stop, they turn, they hurry, and somehow they all seem to understand each other. But how do they do that without talking? And do ants have ears at all? At first, this sounds like an easy question. Ants are small, simple creatures. Or so it seems. But scientists who study ants discovered something surprising. Ants can hear, just not the way humans do. And ears do not look like ears. They are not on the head, and they are not shaped like tiny shells. In fact, ants do not have ears in one place at all. Their hearing is spread across their whole body. Sounds can travel in many ways. They move through air, through water, and even through solid things like soil and wood. Humans mostly hear sounds that move through air, but ants live on the ground, inside trees, and under leaves. For ants, ground sounds are the most important. These sounds are actually tiny vibrations. When the ground shakes just a little, ants can feel it. To them, the world is always gently humming. Inside an ant's body are special, tiny structures. They work like very thin strings stretched tight. When the ground vibrates, these strings move, and that movement becomes a message for the ant's brain. These tiny sensors are not only for hearing. They also help ants feel where their legs are. They help ants keep balance while walking and climbing. Hearing and movement are connected in a clever way. But what about sounds in the air? Can ants hear someone talking nearby? Scientists are still not completely sure. Other insects, like flies and mosquitoes, hear air sounds using tiny hairs. These hairs move when air vibrates. That movement sends a signal to the insect's nervous system. Ants have similar hairs, but we don't yet know how sensitive they are. What we do know is this: ants use sound to talk to each other, and they use it more often than we once believed. Some ants live inside wood. When danger comes, they hit the walls of their nest with their body. The vibrations travel through the wood like an alarm bell. Other ants rush to help. Many ants can also make a soft clicking sound. They rub parts of their body together to create vibrations. Humans can barely hear it, even very close, but ants hear it loud and clear. These vibrations travel through soil. An ant buried under sand can call for help this way. Other ants feel the signal and dig it out. It is like a rescue call whispered through the earth. Some ants use sound while working. Leafcutter ants vibrate their bodies while cutting leaves. This makes their jaws move faster and smoother. It helps them cut food more carefully. And something even stranger happens. Ants vibrate more when the leaves taste better. This sound attracts smaller ants. They climb onto the leaf and ride it home. But they are not just passengers. The smaller ants protect the workers. They chase away flies that want to lay eggs. Even tiny teamwork has sound in it. Sound is so powerful that even strangers use it. Some caterpillars live inside ant nests. They copy the smell of ant babies, and they copy their sounds too. These caterpillars make sounds like the ant queen. When ants hear it, they rush to protect the source. They guard the caterpillar as if it were royalty. A perfect sound can rule a whole colony. So do ants have ears? Yes, but not the kind we know. They hear with their legs, their bodies, and the ground beneath them. They listen to vibrations, not voices. Ants live in a quiet world, a world of tiny movements and gentle signals, a world where the ground speaks softly all the time. Now, you know something special. Ants do not need ears on their heads. They feel the world listening back to them. The day begins to slow down now. The ground cools, the tiny footsteps grow quiet, and if you stayed with us till the end, your reward is ready. A long-awaited bedtime story is waiting for you. And now the day is slowly drawing to a close. The noise grows quieter. Thoughts slow down, and it's time for storytelling. But before we begin, let's do one small but important thing. If you enjoy learning new things, if you enjoy listening to stories before bed, and if you want to come back again, subscribe to the Hamster NBC channel and like this video. This way, you'll help us create even more kind stories and clear explanations for children all over the world. Now, get comfortable. History is waiting for you. Rapunzel, Brothers Grimm. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a kind man and his wife. Their greatest desire was to have a child. One day, the woman proudly and joyfully announced to her husband that they were expecting a baby. The family's house stood against a high wall, surrounding the beautiful garden of an evil witch. No one ever dared to peer inside, fearing misfortune and calamity. But the woman sometimes admired the beautiful flowers, wondrous trees, and magical herbs. The witch grew from a small attic window. Unfortunately, the expectant mother fell ill and lost her appetite, so her caring husband put her to bed. He carefully tended to his beloved, bringing her something tasty every day. But, alas, she ate nothing. "My dear, just tell me what you want, and I'll bring it," the husband pleaded. "I want to taste Rapunzel's herb, which grows in the witch's garden." The desire to see his wife healthy and happy again helped the loving husband overcome his fear. Waiting until darkness fell, he climbed over the high fence and found himself in the forbidden garden. His heart seemed to be pounding with excitement. Quickly finding a patch of grass, he picked some and hurried home. His wife actually felt much better after eating some of the grass. The next morning, the young woman asked for more of the herb. "Please, dear, bring me some of that herb, or I'll never get well." Late that night, her husband snuck into the garden again, but before he could even pick a couple of blades of grass, an old witch appeared out of nowhere. "Ah, you thief! You've got us! How dare you meddle in my garden? Please, have mercy. My wife is ill and asked me to bring her some greens." "Very well. Well, keep the grass, but on one condition: you give me your firstborn." The poor man was forced to agree. A few weeks later, the happy couple had a beautiful daughter. That same day, an old, wicked witch appeared in their home. The parents begged the old woman to keep the child, but she wouldn't listen. "I'll name her Rapunzel." The wicked witch laughed maliciously, grabbed the baby, and carried her off to her home. Rapunzel grew up to be a true beauty. She had violet eyes and luxurious hair like golden thread. When she was 12 years old, the old woman took her into a dense forest. There, the sorceress locked Rapunzel in a high tower with no doors or steps, except for a small window in a single room at the very top. Rapunzel could see only one person, the vile witch, who visited the girl daily. She would come to the foot of the tower and cry out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your braid." The poor girl obediently did, as the sorceress commanded. The vile old woman, Asifonarope, climbed up her luxurious braid into the tiny room. One day, a prince, lost in the forest while hunting, heard a delightful woman singing. It was Rapunzel singing to avoid feeling lonely. The prince rode up to the high tower. Dismounting, he tried in vain to find the entrance to the building. It was getting dark, and the young man had to return home. But the next day he continued his search. For many days, the young man tried to enter the tower and see the singer. And then one day, he had luck. Standing in the bushes, enjoying the invisible singer's wondrous voice, the prince saw the witch. Hidden, he began to watch the sorceress. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your braid," the hag commanded. Immediately, a wondrous golden braid appeared from the window, and the old woman climbed up it. "So that's what I need to do to finally see who sings so beautifully." The young man rejoiced. That evening, standing at the foot of the tower, he said, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your braid." And a few moments later, braided golden strands of hair hung from the window. The prince immediately climbed up them. Rapunzel had never seen a man in her life. With a frightened cry, she hid in a corner of the room. "Who are you?" The girl breathed barely audibly. "Don't be afraid of me. the prince said tenderly, taking her slender fingers in his. He fell in love with the lovely creature at first sight. I just wanted to know who sang so beautifully. And the prince told Rapunzel how he came to the tower every day to listen to her sing. Gradually, the girl calmed down. "Marry me, and we'll leave this terrible place," the prince proposed to The young, handsome prince took a great liking to the girl. "I'd gladly run away with you. But how can I get out of here? You can climb down my braid, but what about me?" After thinking for a moment, the captive suggested, "Come to me every evening and bring silk threads with you. I'll weave a strong rope from them, and we'll climb down it and escape from here together." The prince began visiting the beauty every evening. From the threads he brought with him, the girl wove a strong rope. The witch seemed oblivious until Rapunzel, lost in her thoughts about her beloved, asked the hag, "Why are you heavier to lift than the prince?" "Oh, you vile girl, and I thought I'd hidden you safely," the witch hissed. "And all this time you've been cleverly deceiving me." She took out a pair of enormous scissors, grabbed Rapunzel by her beautiful braid, and cut it off. Then the wicked old woman struck the girl on the arm, and a moment later she found herself alone in a valley. That evening, the vile hag returned to the tower and waited for the prince. Soon she heard the young man's voice. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your braid." The witch tied one end of her braid to a heavy chair near the window and lowered the other to the prince. The prince quickly climbed up, but instead of the beautiful girl, an old witch greeted him at the window. "She's gone. She's vanished from you forever!" The hag screamed and pushed the young man down. He fell into a blackberry bush, and its sharp thorns scratched the prince's eyes. Unable to see anything, the unfortunate man wandered through the forest. Nowhere to be seen. So he wandered, sad and blind, through forests and mountains for many years. More than anything, the young man wanted to find his beloved. The prince asked everyone he met about the girl with violet eyes and short golden hair, but no one had ever seen her. One day, the young man found himself in a valley. Suddenly, he thought he heard someone singing somewhere nearby. "I know that voice!" the prince exclaimed. "It belongs to my beloved, The unfortunate blind man followed the beautiful singing and soon found his betrothed. The young man had become very thin. His clothes were in tatters, but Rapunzel immediately recognized her beloved. Overcome with happiness and pity, she burst into tears. Her tears fell on her betrothed's eyes, and a miracle occurred. The young man regained his sight. Together, they traveled to the prince's kingdom and celebrated a lavish wedding. Word of the happy couple spread throughout the land. Rapunzel's mother and father learned that their daughter had become a princess, and their happiness and pride knew no bounds.